Hello and welcome to a brand spanking new Crafty Simulations video. Now in the last video you saw me flying all the way to Humberside International Airport, and we are going to be flying from Humberside International Airport. With today's video we are going to be featuring for the first time ever on this channel, breathe, the Carenado PA44 Seminole. Seminole? I have no idea how you pronounce this aircraft's name, but it is the PA44. It is a twin-engine Piper. So let's see just how good this aircraft really is. So, as the introduction stated, this aircraft has not featured before on this channel, and it's a weird one because I have always had trouble with the name of this aircraft. I had to actually watch a YouTube video of the real thing with real pilots, just hoping they'd say the name of it. Now, PA44, I can get that, that's totally fine. But Seminole, Seminole, it's such an odd name for an aircraft. Anyway, there's probably a meaning for that name in the world. Now, we have featured before on this channel Carenado aircraft, and on the whole, they've been pretty darn good. They don't cost the world, don't cost the earth, and they come in at the fairly detailed level. Not the best, not A2A levels, not just flight levels, but very good levels nevertheless. Now this, the PA44, was one of their first aircraft that they brought over to 2020. So it is quite old in the sim, and as I said, I've not featured it before at all. So seeing as we do have a thing for twin-engined aircraft here on the channel, I thought I'd bring it out. Now we flew into Humberside Airport in the Bonanza on the last video, and I'm going to do a little bit of circuit work here with the Seminole. Now if it is any good, I might do some more videos with it, because like I said, I do like a nice twin-engined general aviation aircraft. Now on Carenado's strengths, they do make, in my opinion, some pretty darn good looking aircraft. And even though this is one of the first ones that they ever came out with for the sim, again, it's actually pretty good. Now, I'm not sure whether there's been updates along the way, whether this aircraft has remained standard from its release date, or it has been updated, like I said, but it looks very good. And this is one of those things about Carenado. They make very good looking aircraft. There's no two ways about it. I know there's a lot of people that knock Carenado, ooh, they're not worth it or anything like that. I think they actually are. And, you know, given the price point of this aircraft, which I think is £20, if I remember correctly, $20. So it's not going to be breaking the bank balance in any currency. But it is a very good looking aircraft. Odd looking aircraft, because we have the T-tail arrangement. Not many aircraft, I'm thinking here, general aviation, have T-tail arrangements. But the Seminole, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, does look really good. And that's what you get with Carenado aircraft. They do look pretty darn good. So moving inside the cockpit, okay, once again, considering this is one of the early generations Carenado aircraft, it's very good, very functional. Again, we have, obviously it's twin engine, so we have a twin engined, what I would call limitations on the cockpit. So we do have two lots of gauges. Some of these gauges are very small to read. You have to really think about what they are, and the needles and the actual numbers are a little bit, shall we say, difficult to get hold of when you're flying. But on the whole, if you know how to fly a single-engined, propeller-driven aircraft, you can transfer that to general aviation. To twin-engine general aviation quite easily. And this isn't A2A. This is not going to punish you for not having the carb heat on the temperatures, in low temperatures or anything like that. It is a very enjoyable aircraft, and it looks really good. I mean, we do have the typical aged leather, which is fine. PA44 is an old aircraft, perfectly expect that. The leather seat effect, you know, there are a lot of sims out there, a lot of aircraft out there that don't have very good looking seats. I know it's not the deal breaker, let's be honest, because you're looking at the front of the aircraft, not down where you're sitting. But it's very detailed, and very believable. Everything in this aircraft looks, I mean, the stitching looks really good. Dirty Some visors, again, I would expect that. Carenado do go to the nth degree when it comes to creating an effect on their aircraft. There's dirt on the window here, which you can just about see here. I presume that's dirt on the window, not actually on the wing and the engine. But it is perfectly, yeah, so you've got dirt up here as well. So it's a lived-in aircraft. She be an old aircraft. I don't know when the PA44 started flying, but I dare say it's quite old. Now, we do have an upgrade, once again, to the navigation. We're going for our GTN 750. And on that front, we do have the traditional tablet here for Carenado aircraft. So we here have, let's go back to the first one. So we know it's a PA44 Seminole. And we have the standard, it's exactly the same across pretty much all Carenado aircraft. We have the standard arrangement of stuff we can put in, pilot and co-pilot we can show and hide, pilot door we can open and close. For some reason that's ghosted out, I don't quite know why, but hey, so we can do the co-pilot door. Maybe that's because the pilot door doesn't open. Let's have a look, does it open? I'm going to go and no it doesn't. Where's the... Well, door latch is there. Yeah, so it's one of those aircraft where you come in over the passenger seat. Probably the reason why it's so dirty over that side. So that's realistic. So we have static elements, external power, tow bar, things of that nature. In fact, we'll have the... Let's see what that looks like. There we go, external power. Tiny little external cart plugged into the aircraft, just giving it a little bit of ground power while we sit here prattling on. So we could start up various systems now. We're not going to, but anyway, so we shall go on to the next section. So this would be the traditional navigation options. So we have options for the GTN 750XI and the standard GTN 750. They are payware options here in the sim. You don't have to have them because obviously we can have more traditional instrumentation there. But I do have them, so I do believe I've got the 750 ready to go. I've got the the XI version. Not really a total fan of it, if I'm honest, but it is there as well, so we can actually install that. So it's saying that they are both installed for me. Yours might be a little bit different. So we also have the standard startup options of cold and dark, ready for taxi and ready for takeoff. These aircraft are really, really simple to get going. Like I said before, it doesn't punish you for missing various parts of a checklist, let's say. Yes, you could probably start this aircraft via a proper, effective Seminole checklist, but you don't have to, and that's the great thing about Carenado. Sometimes we don't have the time to sit down and go for a 40-page checklist. And in fact, here is the checklist, which is the landing checklist of all things. Okay, so that's all we have. Okay, seat backs, erect, giggity. So yeah, we do have a landing checklist, which is bizarre. So we'll get rid of, before I forget about it and try and fly with it connected, we don't have that, so just click that and bye-bye. So there are aircraft here in the sim that obviously have things like fuse panels. This aircraft has the fuse panel. You can look at it, but you can't play with it. Again, it's perfectly fine. This is reflected in a price point. We're not paying for, a £30 in the UK or £40 in the UK aircraft. This is a, what's $19? £18, £17, I think it is, off the top of my head. It's cheap and functional. So, what are we going to do with it today? Well, we are going to fly some circuits here at Humberside. And if it is good, and I hope it's good because I have flown it off camera, we are going to actually create some more content around it. So, anyway, let's get this wee beastie started. So, we shall have Trackir on. Yes, Trackir is centered, that's alright. Right, so we do have to do, oh sorry, we'll have to turn that off a minute. We have to do this, go a little bit out of body, because I can never get these connected. As the fuel flows, always the things I forget. It's the first thing I forget every single time. If it needs it, I forget about it. So, we shall have left mixture coming forward, pop pitching fine, that's fine. Engine could be cracked, batteries coming on, beacon lights are on. Trackir, stop doing your little dance of annoyance. Right, so we'll have exposed left mag and right mag, they're on. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. That gives them prime. Fuel pump is selected on. Let's hope and pray, unlike the last aircraft I was flying, that this thing will actually start. Hey, brilliant. Alternators coming on. Navigational equipment coming on. We shall start after that. Right, so we'll get the right engine started up. Mags are on. Fuel pump is on. Mixture is pulled up. We'll pull that mixture back a little bit. Throttle up. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. We'll just watch over that side of the aircraft. And we have a good start on the right engine. Nav light is on, beacon light is already on, strobe light not required. Set that up. We'll keep in the local area, so we do want Echo Golf November Juliet. Set as our destination. Now what this does, he says, I was playing around with this earlier and I think I got rid of some of the options. No? Weird. Normally you get the runway headings coming off this, but we're staying in the circuit, so we shouldn't be too much of a problem. Right. Put them back on. Looking at our T's and P's, they are looking good. Obviously, like I said, I'll keep saying this. Carenado aircraft, you know, not the most realistic. You can forget things. Centralise my... That's better. Even better. Betterer. Right, so we'll have flaps down to one stage and we'll have our taxi lights are coming on. Quick taxi to the runway here, to the active. So we will have full mixture, cockpit is still fine. I just confused everything, yes. Trackir is a pain in the butt sometimes. Right, so, I think I've got a button mixed up here. So let's get going anyway. I think I've got two buttons doing the same thing, one for Trackir, one for the flight simulators. Changing view. Landing lights are on, strobe lights are on. Oh, yeah, nearly forgot. I always forget this. Altitude. So levers are all correct, landing lights are on, flaps are went down one stage. Left-hand departure. Here at Humberside we do have to be aware of the terrain. And we've got some wind turbines out there to our 10 o'clock. They will be in our vicinity when we make our left-hand turn, so we do need to make some altitude when we get going. So everything is set, lights are set, flaps are set, I'm set, doors are locked, nobody else will be stupid enough to be in this aircraft with me. Brakes released, let's go. Full power. Airspeed's alive. There's 60. 70. 80 knots. Start rotating. Tap the brakes, gears coming up. Flaps going up. Our wind turbines I was referring to. Also got plenty of altitude now. Just put it on autopilot now, settling around 2,000 feet. On there, thank you. So we'll go into our landing check. So landing lights are coming on. Fuel pumps are still on from our takeoff. Autopilot is off. Got Humberside over at our 10 o'clock. We'll start making our slow descent. That's one stage. Gear coming down, retrim, gear down, 3 green. So I do find this aircraft is a little bit twitchy on the approach on lower power settings. This could be due to the fact of crosswinds, but there is quite a bit of yoke movement I have to do to keep the aircraft on the course that I need. So we'll start our left-hand approach. Make this a full stop landing. So landing lights are on, checked, flaps are down 1 stage, gear is down, 3 green. Flaps going down 2 stage. Approach. The power settings a little bit high on the puppy lights. Start the nose, throttle's going back. Stabilise, and we are down. As mentioned previously, Humberside does not have a taxiway. It's very weird for an airport like this. It's a regional airport, but she does not have a taxiway for us to use, so we do have to go back up the runway. Not a problem, because we don't have any AI traffic to worry about. That's coming up. So, my thoughts on the Seminole PA44. First of all, odd name. Like I say, I do apologise if I have been pronouncing it wrong. It's a Carenado aircraft. That's the way we describe it. It is a Carenado aircraft. It is good in many ways. In the fact of, we do have a very detailed, accurate flight deck. Instrumentation works just how you'd expect it. We do have the option for a GTN 750 layout. We do have other communications and navigational equipment that would be fitted to a PA44 in real. Price point is fantastic, and that's where a lot of Carenado love is, I suppose, but technically it is 19 US dollars, or about 17 UK pounds. Now, there are a lot of aircraft coming out of differing classes. They don't have to be general aviation, but they are expensive, and it is nice and refreshing to see aircraft such as this, such as the Carenado are releasing, that are not bank breakers. Are they the most detailed aircraft here in the sim? No, of course they're not. Is it A to A levels? Heck no, not even close. But it is usable, and I think that's a great thing. It's nice to have differing options here in the sim. You know, we could all the developers could release aircraft and charge £50 for them. I'm glad that they don't. And you have to back up your aircraft if you're going to release an aircraft and charge £50. For some reason I managed to hit the parking brake there. Come on, Crafty, let's get some half-decent parking. Parking brake is set. Oh, so you can actually click them. Weird. Fuel pumps off, mixtures pull back, throttle set. Lights are all off. Avionics off, batteries off. Trackir, you can stop doing your nut now. You know, Trackir. So, as I was saying, this is not an A to A class of aircraft. This is not a just flight class of aircraft. It's a Carenado class of aircraft, and I say that in the kindest of words. Yes, it was one of the first ones that obviously came over to the sim, so there are better looking aircraft and better, I think, aircraft in the Carenado catalogue, but it is still a fully functioning twin-engined. Don't believe there's another Seminole on the flight sim. Could be wrong on that, but I'm fairly certain, certainly not in the payware category. It doesn't break the bank balance. It has good sounds, not the best sounds in the world. There is a bit of phasing between twin-engined aircraft, which you get sometimes in the lower end of the spectrum of aircraft. But the sounds are believable, and that's the main thing. Is it believable? Does it sound like the correct engines? And I will go with yes, it does. Having never sat in one, don't know how I can make that judgment, but it is a believable sound set. It's a great looking external aircraft. It's a great looking internally aircraft. It handles, it's a bit tweaky. It's a bit, you know, I mean, you might have to create a profile just for this aircraft and lower down some of the sensitivities a little bit. But other than that, I think it's a really, really good aircraft. And it does cost 19 US dollars, or £17, give or take. I think it's a good deal. And if you're after a twin-engine aircraft, check out the PA44 Seminole by Carenado. I will drop a link for where you can purchase this from Carenado directly. And also, while you're on there, take a look at the other Carenado aircraft, because I have featured quite a few now in the channel, and I'm looking forward to featuring a lot more. I have got them all set up in the sim right now, waiting, just getting time to do the videos. So anyway, if you've got any questions or comments, bang them below. I will get around to answering them as soon as I can. And on that note, stay safe, and I will see you in a future CraftySimulations video very, very soon.